Because right now, unbeknownst to you, I'm listening to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Ooh, nice.
Or is it?
It says starting. It says live. Maybe it's working.
I'm reloading the
There
HP8 DVD page.
Yeah. Looks like it's working. I think.
Only one way to find out. Oh, yeah, we're live. Okay. Oh, God. Yes. I like it.
The bottom one over wherever it is won't be here for very long. That's just placeholder.
Oh, it's beautiful. I like everything about this.
All right, so here we are. BOTRBAMG.
BOTRBAMG. What is BOTRBAMG?
This is a music video thing because I listen to too many podcasts.
Yeah, first time music, huh? Dipping our toes in.
Yeah. I felt like I listened to too many podcasts last year. Well, in the past few years. So I wanted to listen to more music.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked all my friends and family to recommend albums I should listen to. And so I'm listening to one a week, every week this year.
That's right. And we are currently in week 9.
This is the start of the... We're not going to talk about this week's album because I've only listened to it for a day. But yeah, we just started week 9.
Yeah,
so
I haven't listened to any.
The first week of the year...
This is a catch-up.
Yeah. Normally this should be once a month, but we're doing 2 months this time. But, yeah. So
before we talk about the albums themselves, do you want to talk about anything like traditionally our musical preferences or anything like that?
Yeah. So, like I said, yeah, mostly I've been listening to podcasts too much. Like, I used to listen to music, like, all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was going somewhere at home, I would listen to music all the time. And then, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, maybe, I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to sports podcasts. And then it just grew and grew and grew until I realized that's, like, the only thing I listened to was barely listening to music. But, yeah, music I like is pretty much rock, rap, heavy metal, mostly metal, and rap. But, yeah, I'd say mostly metal. Punk is what I listen to, or what I like.
Did you say bunk?
I may have. I kind of ate the word there for a second. I don't know what happened.
All right.
So it's a new form. Yeah. It's punk and bluegrass.
That reminds me, punk and Drublic, actually, there's something I'll tell you about later, but, I mean, off air. But, so, yeah, we have similar musical tastes. However, we emphasize things, like, you don't care about lyrics. I do. Mm-hmm. I probably tend to lean more pop. Well, I would say probably much more pop than you do.
Oh, I'd say way more pop than I do, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So my list of music, a lot of those albums that are on my list, I've never listened to. A lot of the pop stuff especially.
Yeah.
But I like metal. I like punk very much, much more than metal. But I also really like rap. And I really like swing. Not like Zoot Suit Riot kind of swing, but I really love big band, like actual old school big band stuff. And I love the 50s. I love the 60s music, but not like late 60s necessarily, early.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have some things that we diverge on, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I was in the same boat. I listened to podcasts nonstop, and then when I did listen to music, a lot of the times it was with my kids. So it tended to recently very heavily favor pop music as well.
Well,
So
also, we live in Japan, so also was heavily Japanese pop music.
yeah, yeah, sure. But even U.S. pop music, it wasn't like a lot of the pop music. Even
Mm.
like there's so much I'm out of touch with, and like
Oh
a
yeah,
good
me too.
example is Gangnam Style, right?
Yeah.
That music that song was huge in the U.S. and I had heard it like when it was very first coming out for some reason, and I thought it was trash, and I just
Hmm.
never listened to it until the next time I listened to it was when he was in Toronto performing that song at a Seahawks Bills game, and like those are literally the two times I've ever heard that song. So
All
there's
right.
just when my sister came to visit a couple of years ago now, she was talking about Pharrell's song "Happy," and like at the time, like
Okay.
I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
it was huge in the U.S. and like
Mm.
I think I just never heard it, and she was fucking dumbfounded that I never listened to it. So
Yep.
there's some such stuff we're out of touch with, and a lot of the actual pop songs that I listen to right now that are I listen to because the kids love them. A lot of them came from listening to the U.S. Army's radio station driving around.
Mm.
So, uh, it's here and there. But
Sure.
yeah, I definitely need more pop than you do. But we both like rock. We both like metal. We both like
Mm.
rap, hip hop. We probably don't go too deep into things like modern country.
Oh yeah. No, I couldn't. I don't think I could name, and maybe a couple. I can't
I,
think of
I
any off the top of my head right now.
yeah, exactly. I don't. I dislike. I actively dislike it. But
Yeah.
you also played. Was it sax?
Yeah, I
Not
played
sax.
saxophone.
Sax for years, and so you have much more
Elementary
of a
school to high school, through high
right.
school.
So you have much more of a basis in like jazz music
Hmm.
or even marching band style music or whatever than I do as well. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's where we're coming from.
I was gonna say just real quick to show how out of touch I am with popular music at the time. I mean, this was probably like 5 years ago when I was home. A couple of our friends were talking about something,
Mhm.
and I was not really paying attention, and I only heard bits and pieces. And I remember both of them just looking at me like I was a complete idiot when I said, "What is a kesha?"
Um,
Now I'm aware she's a singer, but at the time when whatever they were talking about, I was like, What's a kesha?"
yep.
They were like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh,
Uh,
oops. Yeah, I
Kesha.
know now."
So I had heard many of her. I had heard her name mentioned a bunch of times because of the giant bombcast and all of that, right?
Hmm.
But the only song I think I've ever heard her in is a Macklemore song,
Oh, I didn't know she was on
and
one of his songs.
yeah, and that's a big popular song with the kids here as well.
Hmm.
It's on his newest album, so that's the only Kesha song I've ever heard. But I will be hearing more soon.
Hmm. All right, so yeah, let's get to the music. There's no, unlike our other things, like there's no strict rules about. Like I try to listen to the whole album every day, once,
Mhm.
and if I don't, like, well, we'll get into it. But there's most of the albums by the end of the week, I don't listen to the entire thing. I listen to some of it, and then maybe similar artists or like other albums in their catalog, discography,
Sure,
whatever.
or in their neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
But also, this is very different than anything else as well. I guess it's not that different, except that you are this way always. The other ones have a
For what?
rotation to them, right?
Yes, I am always listening to every album
But like, for example, when
once.
we do a five bagger, one of us watches it a bunch and the other two
Yeah.
don't. This one, you are the one that's always doing that. I am a passenger in that
Yes.
I basically have committed to listening to each of these albums once during a week.
Yeah.
And once I've listened to it, I can wash my hands of it and go my separate way if I want,
Yeah.
which I have done on several occasions so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's get into it.
Yep.
First album was whatever. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. Have you heard of him?
I have, and I believe I, in fact, suggested this.
I just pushed the wrong button. There we go.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, it's underlined too. Perfect. Underlined like I misspelled it. Cool. Whatever.
Oh, God, I love this. I love this aesthetic.
How
this album
terrible
came
it is.
out in 2010.
Was it 2000? Yeah, I don't have the album info in front of me.
I just looked it up. Yeah.
I will in a second. Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
I think you suggested this one. There's you. Oh, I guess we should have said this before too. You suggested way more albums than everyone else combined that I asked for albums. So
sure.
And
like I said before, a lot of them are stuff I've never listened to, but I've either been interested in it or it had just been like on some kind of list that I searched or whatever. Or like there's a song from the album that I know and have liked, and I've just never listened to anything else by that artist or whatever it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll probably be like 50-50 you and everyone else, unless they suggest more. Like my friends can still suggest stuff. So, and they have actually suggested a few others since I started this. But yeah, this first 2 weeks or first 2 months is 50-50 you and everyone else. But yeah, Kanye. I really, really liked this album. You specifically told me to listen to it the first time, start to finish, like uninterrupted.
Right.
And I did listen to it at home. Listen to it really loud here. Yeah, it was. I'm curious why you wanted me to do that. I mean, I think I kind of understand why, but yeah. So to get that out of the way, everything I say is going to be real nitpicky. Anything negative I say, because this album was really good. I really, really liked it.
Right. And I think, okay, so here's the thing about this album is you asked me specifically which one you should listen to, this or 808 and Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
I told you this one because it was, I forget the word, because it was...
I listened to 808 and Heartbreaks as well, but...
Right. But I told you this one because you should choose this one because it was a masterpiece, I think is maybe what I said, right?
Sure. I can see that.
Right. And actually, between the two, I prefer 808 and Heartbreaks. And the reason I prefer 808 and Heartbreaks is because start to finish, it feels like you're on a complete and connected, continuous journey, right?
Yeah. That album is like a single, not a single idea. I guess that's not fair, but it's
a single
highly
river.
focused.
It's a river
on
right.
Like,
and I prefer that album, but this one is higher rated, higher regarded. I think has better songs. But I came to both of these at about the same time. I'd not listened to Kanye. I'd not listened to hip-hop in quite a while, I think, at this point. And I'd gotten into a kind of monotonous phase where I really liked music that was very repetitive, right?
Okay.
And that's why I really have this strong affinity for 808 and Heartbreaks, is because there's a lot of repetition throughout all of the songs.
Yes,
and I feel like start to finish, it just flows over and over itself the whole way through. And so I really like that better. There's better songs on this album, and that's why I wanted you to listen to it, because of that and because of the it's got a higher Metacritic or whatever, you know. But yeah, I really liked both of these, and I think that when I first listened to them, it was years ago. And I told you this at the time, and I think you probably never actually went and listened to it, but I told you to listen to them. And the reason
you had been telling me to listen to both of those albums for probably 5 years at
Yeah,
least.
and
I
the
hadn't.
reason I told you was because it was unlike anything you had experienced in this genre before.
Mhm.
And I think that still holds true with either of them.
Uh, yeah, I think so.
I think people have copied it since then, but I think
Yes,
that
yeah.
at that point in time, it was so different. And like for example, 808 and Heartbreaks, like the whole premise of it is it's kind of built on this nostalgia of like 80s Euro pop music.
Well, I mean, it's in the title, 808. It all sounds
Right.
like that. Was it a Korg? Roland? I forget who makes the 808, but
And
it
roll it.
it's a super
Anyway,
super distinct sound. Like
yes.
the 80s
Which
sound like
so
that thing.
it's based on this premise that I have no affinity for. I dislike that era of music so much.
Oh, I really
Like,
like the way that thing sounds.
oh no, I like the sound of it. I dislike that
Oh, the era.
Duran
Okay.
Duran.
Oh,
I
sure.
really just like Duran Duran, Flock of Seagulls. That style of music, I still have no love for at all.
Hmm.
I like music in that period, but not that style of music.
Yeah.
And so, like this, coming to this, and like just really feeling what that was for the first time, and the enjoyment of that was really great for me. So, but at the same time, I really like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as well. But
Hmm.
I like the other one more. So it's great that you say you really liked it that much.
Yeah, I really like this one. I liked this one more than 808.
Sure. And I think if I had come to it now, I also would have. But for me at that time, I was really into that repetitive style. And another band I suggested called We Were Promised Jetpacks is in that same
Which
vein
I
of
have not listened to.
you have not listened to, but they have a lot of songs where they repeat very few lines throughout the whole song. But I love it so much, and like it was the same period of time where those two albums, the first We Were Promised.
Yeah, isn't there? Oh man, I'm
It
gonna sound like an idiot, but isn't there a style of music? I think from Chicago that is exactly what you're talking about. It's the same beat repeated, and then like the same lyrics, kind of like over and over and over. I forget the name of it.
No, you're totally right.
There's a style of, I forget the name of the style of music from Chicago, but it's like sort of rap, sort of hip hop influence, but like
yes. Yes, I don't know how the music is in that, but I do know that I've come across the same thing, but I've not listened to it really.
Clearly, I'm not familiar with it. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I guess just specifically to this album, besides this one, like was it his first? College Dropout was not his first solo album, was it?
I think Late Registration, I think, is the first one.
I can't remember. College Dropout is the one that I'm most familiar with. Besides before this.
Yeah, I'll check. Keep talking.
And I really liked College Dropout, except for, and this will probably come up again when we listen to another hip hop album, but I really dislike skits.
College Dropout was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I really dislike skits and interludes and crap from most, not all, most rap albums. I think they're only funny the very first time you hear them, and then they're just awful. The one on this one, the Chris Rock one, is horrible. The more you hear it, like it just sucks. The more.
Also, I will add, I totally agree. The only exception is when the skit is separated out into its own song.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I can skip it easily. But in the case of College Dropout and all that shit, it's not. It's tacked on to the end of a song or whatever. And that shit, I cannot forgive an artist for doing that. It's awful.
Yeah, like the only time I even thought, like, okay, this is...
Wyclef Jean.
Yes, I was going to say, Carnival is the only time I've ever been like, okay, because it tells a complete story throughout the album.
Right.
None of them are very good to begin with, but yeah, like, yeah.
And vaguely racist.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said before, they're funny the first time. A lot of Redman's skits are pretty funny the first time you hear them, and then they're not at all anymore. But yeah, so I was glad to see that pretty much the skits were almost completely gone from this album. And yeah, I appreciated that a lot.
In 808 and Heartbreaks, I don't know if there are any.
I don't think there's any in that one.
Yeah.
And there's only there's the Chris Rock one at the end of this album, and there's the very first song that's kind of like a spoken word thing. It's not quite a skit. That I didn't really like the first song. It's like a woman talking over a beat that I was like, it's okay. But yeah. Let's see, real quick. I always confuse this. I don't know what is wrong with me. I always confuse Rick Ross and Rick Rubin.
Jesus.
Which could not be more different human beings. But for some reason, I always confuse the two. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because like I saw his name like in the credits or something. I was like, Rick Ross, like what the fuck? Why would Rick Ross be on this? Because I was thinking Rick Rubin.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I always get their names confused. Yeah, I like a lot of the rhymes on this album. There's tons. Like you have mentioned multiple times about the too many Urkels, which is
that's why your wins low.
Maybe one of the funniest in this album.
There was first time I listened to that, I thought, "Oh my god, this is brilliant."
There's one that I wanted to bring up specifically, though, that like every time it stuck out to me. It's I forget which song it's on, but he says, "We'll have a big ass crib and a long yard." The long part, like who describes a yard as long? Like
football players.
I guess. I don't know. For some reason, like every time I heard that, I was like, who describes their yard as long? That's so weird. But yeah, I'd say the rhymes in most of this album are good. I thought most of like the I don't know what they call it, guest appearances, whoever because like Jay-Z's on here a few times. Who else is on it?
Jay-Z's verses are pretty weak though.
I was gonna say the Jay-Z verse on Monster, I think, is the first time he shows up. It's like I wrote it, like it sounds really forced. Like it's not his style. Like that's not.
Yes.
Like he's trying to sound like angry and tough. Like it's just not.
Yeah, he comes on and he's mimicking the other people on the track, and it's awful.
It's not. It's a weak. He has another part later that's better. But yeah,
it's on the next song.
Is it the next? Yeah, like but yeah, that for that Monster song. I like the song, that Monster song, but
yes,
because is it Nicki Minaj? I think
Nicki Minaj.
It's quite good.
So I think the first time you listened to it, I feel like you said you didn't like it, or maybe you said you didn't like Nicki Minaj at this point or something like that. And like I totally understand, but also I think that the way that she switches up so drastically within the song is amazing.
Yeah, like it rubbed me the wrong way the first time. I was like, I really don't like this.
Yes.
But as I listened to it more and more, I was like, this is fucking incredible. This is so good.
Which will bring us to Lana Del Rey later.
Oh god, yeah. I don't have much else to say. I really liked it. I listened to it like I said, like I tried to listen to the album once a day. I probably listened to this one probably twice a day total. Like I listen to it a lot.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. It was real good.
I think not too great of spoilers, but this might be the only one of the 8 albums we've listened to so far that I will listen to again. Oh no, there's one more.
It's not the only for me, but it's one of 2.
Yeah, sorry, there is one.
But yeah, we're starting with the showstopper. This is easily the best of the 8 albums we're about to talk about. Like not even close to me.
All right, so you wanna do best song? Is there something?
Yeah. That's favorite song. My favorite track. It switched almost every time I listened. I liked quite a few. There's a couple I didn't really like, but the one I liked the most was "Runaway."
Yeah, I think I had "Runaway" as mine as well, and it's just so dynamic. I think.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice that was like a super distorted voice at like the last half of it. I noticed at some point, but at the beginning I did I wasn't really paying attention or something, and then I realized I was like, what the heck is that? Is that like a guitar with one of those like straw like talk
squawk boxes or whatever?
I was like, no, it's not. I was like, shit, that's just an auto-tuned, super distorted voice, and someone's just singing, isn't it? Wow.
Yep.
I really like that. It's super. It sounds like he's just repeating another part of the song over and over again. But I like that whole song.
Even how it starts off with just a single note over and over.
I really like the beginning because it seems like when you're listening to it, it sounds like, oh, this is the beat, and then when it comes in on the beat, you're like, that's like the off beat.
Yes.
So when it actually comes in, you're like, whoa, what? Oh, okay, cool. The beginning and the end, the whole song, how when you hear the beginning of that song and then you hear the end, and how it all just runs together seamlessly, that song is real good.
It is pretty great, and there's that crazy video that I watched.
I haven't seen. I forgot. I haven't seen.
I suggest you don't, because it's crazy. And it doesn't do anything good for it. It's awful.
All right. Well, you want to move on to the next?
Yep. So we both have the same one on that. Yeah. Next was Space Witch, right?
Space Witch.
Self-titled.
Yes. Self-titled. Hold on.
Oh. Here we go.
There.
Kanye West.
Gonna take a second.
Witch. Oh, we're gonna just type it in. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I love it.
There it is.
Delete. There it is.
I would say this one, to me, maybe album cover of the 8. I like this album cover. It's really stupid, but I like this album cover quite a bit. Because I think most of the rest of the albums have pretty lame album covers.
I really like Kanye West.
I chose the blurred out version.
Yes, I like that one so much more.
Me too. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is the best of the 8 albums we're gonna.
Yeah, I'd say sure. Yeah, I'll go with that too.
And there kind of ends my positive things to say about Space Witch.
Yep.
I did not like this album.
I hated it.
From
everything.
The first couple minutes, I was like, oh no. Oh God, no.
So I had no idea what this was. I could imagine it's some sort of metal something, right? And going into it, the first thing you hear is some sort of audio recording, right?
Yeah, I forget what it is, but yeah, it's some record. Yeah, it's almost the only vocals in the entire thing.
For that moment, I was like, oh wait, maybe this is gonna rock. Maybe we're gonna have this audio and then it's just gonna come in with heavy rad guitars and just blow me away. And then
I guess
absolutely did not.
This is a genre that I typically really do like. I like this type of music a lot.
Oh, okay. I dislike it very much. Whatever you want to call it. Doom, sludge. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Drone.
Yeah, drone's another one that this often gets
called. Generally incredibly dislike this genre.
I like this type of music usually. But
so that's cool because I hated it, and I hated this additionally. So I'm glad to hear that though, because I really dislike this genre and I really dislike this. But coming from someone who likes it, that's very interesting. what was it about it that you did not like?
So they, I mean, this may sound shitty, but like, there's only 2 tracks on this whole album.
Yep.
And the album is like over 60 minutes. It's like 2 half-hour long tracks.
Yes.
So there's only 2 songs in the whole album. But they're not they're not one cohesive 30-minute thing. It's like if you went to a concert, like NoFX sometimes will do this. They will play 6 songs in 3 minutes. And they're like, they'll play a song, they'll stop, and there'll be like just like feedback and noise, and then it'll go right into the next one. That's kind of what this album does. Like, it's not like this is an idea and then the next idea carries on into the next part. Like, they're like, to me, they felt like totally separate. They just let some guitars drone on for a while in between riffs that they had ideas for, which, so to me, like this easily could have been like a 9-track album that they decided to just split down the middle and call it 2 songs. To me, like, because like to me, they were very clear. Like, you just cut off the guitars here, start a new song. Like, these don't have anything to do with each other. But I didn't write the songs. They wrote them. They say they're 2 songs, so whatever. But I guess that's the difference. Like, the other bands that I do like in this genre, like, will write like there's a band called Sleep that I really like. They wrote a song called Holy Mountain. The song is an hour long, and it feels like one song. It's painfully slow to listen to. Like, it's like, you're constantly like, get on with it. but I really like the song. But it's the song is an hour long, and it feels like one song. It feels coherent through the whole thing. Whereas
going back to NoFX, The Decline, right, which is 18 minutes. 18 minutes long for a punk band that can barely write a song over 2 minutes.
And that thing changes styles constantly. But
it still
lyrics tell one thing throughout. That's another problem this band has. There's no lyrics. To any of it. It's just the music. So like when you're gonna make a song where there's no lyrics, like, you really have to hold up that end. Like, I think Pelican does that really well.
Oh yes,
right. Like,
we are both fans of Pelican.
Pelican does a super good job of, hey, we don't have lyrics, but the music holds up. Like
someone like Explosions in the Sky.
Yeah, right? Explosions in the Sky, no lyrics.
We talked about in the last
music,
5-bagger.
Yeah, so this one, like they like in the first song, there's a lot of just like tweet, like, just it drove me insane. Like, I don't know what the noise, like, I don't know how they were making that noise, but it just was really irritating me. But yeah, the cover's good. Didn't like it.
We saw Pelican in Osaka, right?
Yeah.
It was Pelican, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We saw them with Envy and some terrible band.
Yeah, well, yeah, man.
It's like KMF or something.
No. Yeah, what was it?
KLM?
KTL? Maybe?
I don't know. They were off.
Yeah, they were not good.
Envy was great. Pelican was great.
So this is one of the bands where by the Thursday or Friday of the week, I had stopped listening. I listened to their other album, which I still didn't like. I liked it a little more, but not much. On Spotify, and then I started listening to the other bands in their related artists, and I told you to look because there's a lot of witches in their related artists.
This is also a band I could I could never remember the name of.
No, but you named other bands in their related artists because there's
Which
like,
is,
isn't there like
yeah.
Planet Witch or Earth Witch or like
Yeah. I could not remember the name of this stupid band.
Yeah, let's move on. I like the second song more.
My favorite song was the second track.
Yeah,
and it's basically because like the last 4 or 5 minutes were actually decent.
Yeah. The last part of the last song is actually like, this is good. Do more of this.
Yeah, just do this except for in the past.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. This is garbage.
Yeah.
Speaking of garbage.
Second, that song was called Alchemy Paradox, by the way.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll remember that.
Uh-huh. Oh, hold on. Next up. Oh, that's not the right one.
Whoops.
There's all kinds of problems happening over here now.
What does that say? The cover art is very good.
Yep. That's what I said. The cover art is very good. Next up is Lana Del Rey.
Born to Die.
This one I put on my list. I am responsible for this. Because I had heard of... Oh, boy. I forget. I'd heard her songs. One of her songs. I think Video Game. Is that Video Game? Is that... It's on this album.
Oh, yes. I think
I had heard that song whenever it was new. But this was from 2012. Oh, Space Witch was 2014. We didn't say that. This one, Lana Del Rey, 2012. I heard, I think Video Game or Video Games, whatever. I heard that song when it was new because, like, all I heard was like, oh, Lana Del Rey, this is amazing, this is a great singer, great song, oh, it's so good. And I heard it and I was like, what? No. This song's awful. Why would you want to listen to this? So that's why it was on. I was like, all right, well, there must be something to this. She's still putting out albums. I keep hearing her name. There must be something here. So I put this one on the list because I wanted to know what she was about. This album is awful.
Awful. I agree.
I'd say close to torture. It was so bad. I was so sick of hearing it after, like, I barely got through the first one. I was like, I could not believe that from the first song to the last song, they all sound exactly the fucking same.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, you could say, like, oh, all Tool songs sound the same. All, whoever, all their songs sound, all NoFX, all Pennywise, they all sound the same. But not like this.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. Like,
you just listed a bunch of people I enjoy.
I know, no. I'm saying people will say, like, oh, all Pennywise songs sound the same.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Like, so here's the thing. I agree completely. I hated this so much. And I wanted it to end very quickly. But it didn't. It took a very long time to finish.
Yeah, this is a really long album. Or at least it felt like it.
It was awful. And for me, it was... Sure, they sounded the same throughout. And, like, I really disliked... and I mentioned before, I liked the way that Nicki Minaj did this in Monster. But the way that Lana Del Rey, like, decided to do... The word I like to use is vocal gymnastics. And, like, changing her fluctuation of vibrato and all of this kind of stuff throughout her songs and, like, in weird ways was awful. It was just awful. Every time she did it, I was like, God, it just sounds so out of place for no reason. Mm-hmm. And, like, I hated this. And I felt like the music was interesting, but the singing was not. And, I mean, it's based on her, so it's not a great thing.
Yeah.
But the main reason I really dislike this is every song, every lyric was so incredibly sad and depressing that it's just kind of it grated on me
Hmm.
from the start. And I was just like, man, I don't want to listen to this. It's
Yeah,
awful.
yeah. Like in my notes, I said something about like who's the target audience for like I'm never in the mood for this.
Nope.
Like
Well,
sometimes I'm in the mood for
so
hip
we're not in
hop.
the target
Sometimes,
audience.
yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah, like
fucking
I'm
it's
not.
13-year-old depressed girls.
But like God, like I don't know if I've ever been in the mood to listen to this kind of music.
No,
Just
because
like,
we're angry boys.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I told you to listen to Ultraviolence.
Which I didn't, because I could not stand any more of this woman.
I thought that album was far, far, far better.
All right. Well, I
It,
meant to, but I was just like, I just never could
you
bring myself to
you
it.
don't need to. It's not that important. But like in this one, like I guess my girl Adele,
Oh
she
yeah.
has a specific type of song that she is good at. It's
Uh-huh.
not like she could not pull off any of these songs that Lana Del Rey sings.
I
Like
mentioned my girl in
they
this as well. It was T Sweezy, Taylor Swift, right? There's
uh,
a lot of the way that she sings in this album and what she tries to do in this album reminds me of Taylor Swift,
mm,
but she's so missing the fun part, and that is the key.
yeah,
There's no fun in anything Lana Del Rey has ever seen, done, tasted, felt, or spoken in her life. Nothing is fun. That is the difference.
yeah. But I was gonna say Adele does that type of music that she sings, and she's good at that type of music. Lana Del Rey and Adele could not sing each other's music and pull it off.
Sure.
They're just totally
Yep.
different. But I would rather listen to Adele every day over Lana Del Rey. Like it's just yeah. Like
Oh
to
yeah,
me,
absolutely. And if you want to go even dark, you want to go dark singer. What's her name? The lady that died of the drug lord, Amy Winehouse. She's got a dark tinge to her.
sure, yeah,
She's a way better singer than Lana Del Rey is. She's got way more command over her songs, and like I felt like this is another big problem is the song was there, and she just kind of tried to do jumping jacks and flips on top of it, and it just never fit.
hmm like yeah. I guess to be like in my notes, I wrote a bunch of other bands. I was like, oh, this sounds like there's one I forget the name of it. There's one song that
Tegan
sounds
and
like
Sarah.
I've never heard them. I don't know. I know who they are, but
Bon
uh,
Iver.
no, there's one song that sounds like Fiona Apple. Like it
Oh,
sounds
sure.
like a Fiona Apple song, but she
Oh,
sings
see,
it, and I'd
Fiona
rather
Apple,
listen to Fiona Apple than her.
absolutely.
There's another time where it sounds like the Cranberries, but
Yep.
the Cranberries are way more interesting to me. There's another,
R.I.P. Dolores.
yeah. There's another part where it sounds like Depeche Mode, which is a man, but still like the type of
Is
song that
Depeche
she's
Mode a
singing.
man or is Depeche Mode a band?
Well, a male singer.
Or is Depeche Mode a movement?
I don't know.
I don't know. I never listened to Depeche Mode.
And my favorite song, I'm gonna jump straight to that because I'm
Please,
done
thank
with
you.
this. Was the song called "Radio" because
Oh!
it sounds like the Carpenters, which I really really like.
The Carpenters are amazing.
Yeah,
Karen
just the very
Carpenter.
first part, it sounds like. I mean, Karen Carpenter is a way better singer than Lana Del Rey, but
Well, okay, to be fair, Karen Carpenter is a way better singer than almost everybody ever.
sure. But yeah, there's one the radio at the song. The beginning of it sounds like the Carpenters, so that was the one I picked because I didn't really like anything, so I was like, oh, this one sounds like the Carpenters. That's the one I like.
So I had radio marked as like that was the first song I heard where I actually thought there's something here maybe. And that was one of the songs I love. It was a standout for the first half of the album, but my favorite song was "Summertime Sadness."
Mm. That was the one that I had before I switched it for radio.
All right.
Interesting that well, I figured we would be the same. I bet we're going to diverge eventually. I know, but
I hated, by the way, the song I hated the most was "Yayo."
yeah, I don't remember that one.
This is terrible.
I disliked
Don't
most of them. I thought they were
sure, but it was the worst.
mostly really bad. All right, next up, let me delete some more stuff here. I've heard of them. Here we go. Delete some more of this. There it is. Daydream Nation by Sonic Youth.
I have no notes for this.
0.
Zero,
All right.
but I did send you a message when I played the first song, and it was only 1 minute in, and it's already a better week.
Yep. Yeah, my first note says really like this album from the start. Just like it's a good. I forget the first song. It wasn't my favorite, but yeah,
Nope.
the first song it's a good album opener. It's a good.
My favorite song, I'll just get it right here, is "Teenage Riot." The song is great, and this whole album, start to finish, is good. There are highlights and lowlights, but it was so much better than anything we'd listened to since Kanye.
Yes,
and
yeah.
It was actually my first Sonic Youth album. I mean, I grew up in the era of grunge and that punk rock stuff, and so many bands that I listened to were influenced by them. And like you said, Jake.
Our high school friend Jake was easily the biggest Sonic Youth fan I've ever known.
I just never, ever listened to them. Anything more than in passing, and so I enjoyed it. I liked it. Teenage Riot.
Yeah, me too.
Great track.
This was the other one that I would probably listen to again. I really liked this album.
Oh, interesting. All right, this is not the one I would listen to again, because if I were to listen to Sonic Youth again, I would go somewhere else probably.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't listen to. Oh man, now I can't remember the name of it. The one with like the orange puppet thing on the cover. It's called Pure.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure the title.
I think it came out when we were in high school. But yeah, this one came out in
1988. I've seen a million people wearing the T-shirt. It's called Dirty.
Oh, Dirty. Yes, that's right. Dirty. Yeah. I like that album too. That's really the only other Sonic Youth album I'm familiar with. I've heard some of their other stuff, but like that one was the only one I'd really listened to. Yeah. Before this one. But yeah, I like this from the start. I am not really a fan of either of their singing.
I mean, they're not good singers.
Yeah, like they're not very good singers, but I mean, it's fine. It fits. I did really like
Thurston Moore and what's the girl?
Kim something.
Yeah, Kim
Kim
Cattrall.
Nope, that's not it. Yeah, I don't really like their singing very much. I really like the drums. I don't know the drummer's name. I thought he was incredible in this album. Like, he was really good. Yeah, I also said, first album since Kanye that I'm listening to the album still on Friday. Because
what did you say your favorite song was?
Oh, I didn't say. My favorite was Cross the Breeze.
Okay.
It's maybe the heaviest song on the album.
Kim Young? Shit. No, anyway, keep going.
It's not Kim Young either. It's Thurston Moore and Kim Gordon. Kim Gordon?
Kim Gordon, you're right, yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the Meat Puppets, which is a band I really liked.
Yes.
And ended up actually, because of the related artists, I think on Saturday or Sunday that week, I was reminded of how not on the list, but hey, everyone, you should go listen to Meat Puppets' Huevos. That fucking album is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. God, that album's good.
I had never listened to the Meat Puppets until the Nirvana Unplugged in New York.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that was my first introduction.
Yeah.
And I got way into the Meat Puppets after that.
I might have actually heard before. I can't remember the timeline, but there was that one song the Meat Puppets had on MTV. I don't remember if it was before or after, but that was maybe it was Backwater, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it's Backwater. Yeah, that's the Meat Puppets song.
I don't remember which came first, but anyway, that was my first real introduction to them.
Yeah, for me it was the Nirvana Unplugged thing, and then I liked that, and then
fucking Nirvana
started getting into the Meat Puppets, and yeah, I really liked the Meat Puppets for a while. But yeah, Huevos.
Can we talk about Kurt Cobain making the Cousin It joke, but he just fucks it up so bad.
Yeah.
Then cover your hair in your eyes is what he says.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? That's not cover your hair in your eyes. That's not Cousin It at all.
Nope.
Cover your eyes with your hair, maybe? All right. Come on, Kurt. You're better than that.
He was nervous.
He was fucking high as shit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, back to Sonic Youth. I was reminded, or not I guess reminded, I realized, like, wow, Marcy Playground listened to a lot of Sonic Youth. Because there's a lot of Marcy Playground in this album that I was like, oh shit.
Which I am an unabashed Marcy Playground fan.
Me too. I like Marcy Playground too. The other band that it reminded me a lot of was Sunny Day Real Estate. Sunny Day Real Estate must have listened to this album.
I was never Sunny Day fan. I like Nate Mendenhall or whatever since he joined Foo Fighters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I was never a big Sunny Day fan. So, but yeah, if you listen to them side by side, yeah, the drummer was in Foo Fighters, but he left, or it was so. Anyway, long story, but Dave re-recorded his drum parts and he got all fucking pissed, which totally understandable. So he left anyway. But I never listened to it, but they sound exactly the same. Sunny Day Real Estate wanted to be Sonic Youth on this album.
Yeah. So Sunny Day Real Estate and Marcy Playground were the two bands. And I was like, wow, that's a very clear influence, like to this specific album. To them.
Oh God, so hard. Yeah.
The other one that the song I said, "Cross the Breeze" was my favorite. The one that I also really liked was Rain King.
Oh, yes.
I really like that song, too. But, Cross the Breeze is probably the heaviest album or song on the album. But, this was probably the second favorite of all the albums of these.
Well, in January, yes. For certain.
Sure.
For me, number 2 in January.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, we did our specials, favorites, whatever. Now we're into February. All right, those are the first 4. February kicks off with
Angels and Airwaves. Let's do that part first. There it is.
I'm very interested to talk about this one.
Yeah.
To see what you think about this one.
I did not know this band existed until February 4th. Let's say.
Uh-huh.
Roughly, this came from one of yours. This was on your list. I was like, all right, here, gotta find out who's this. What is this? All right, they're on Spotify. Cool.
Yep, this is from me for certain.
I had no idea that this was the Blink-182 guitarist.
Guitarist, yes.
Yeah, the bass players. Yeah. So it's the guitarist from Blink-182. Didn't know that. When does I didn't write the year for this one.
2007.
So okay.
I came to this I came to this much later.
Yeah, like I said, I had never heard of this band. I liked Blink 182.
I was never a big fan. I had one of their CDs from Borders.
Mm-hmm.
It was the single for "What's My Name Again?" Or no, "What's My Name Again?" "What's My Age Again?"
Yeah.
And I liked that song, but other than that, like I'd only heard like "Damn It" on MTV or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
was not a huge fan. I thought they were kind of cheesy punk, and at that time, I was much more into real punk, I guess.
Yeah.
So I thought I liked that song, but I just never invested any other time into them. So
Mm-hmm.
I had no affinity. Even when I first heard this album, I had not gotten into Blink 182 at any level besides that one single.
Let's see. Yeah, I liked Blink 182. I own Dude Ranch. Is it on
Mhm.
Cheshire Cat? No,
Yep,
that's
that's
not right.
another one.
Is that
That
another
was
one?
that was before it.
Yeah.
Yes, Cheshire
Uh,
Cat, Dude Ranch,
and that
Take Off
other
Your
one.
Pants and Jacket,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great name for an album. Enemy of Enema of the State.
Enema of the State. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I liked them. I thought they were stupid and funny. But
I only got into Blink 182 because of her. She liked them before I did. Really.
yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, my my first note says never heard of this band,
Uh,
and the next is been told it's the guitarist from Blink 182, and then my next note is yeah, I can tell it's him
uh-huh.
because it's it's all the parts of Blink 182 that I didn't really like,
Uh-huh.
but I did like this album. I just
Really?
somehow separated from Blink 182. It's fine. But like
Okay.
all of the parts of Blink 182 that I never liked were like from listening to this were very clearly his influence on the band.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, somehow separated on his own. Like yeah, I thought this was fine. Like I
Oh,
started out
wow.
not really liking it, and by the end of the week, I was like, this is I actually kind of like this.
I'm shocked. But also, I have a lot of other points that I'm very interested to hear from you about this. Because you had listened to Boxcar Racer before this, right?
Yeah.
And I love that album. That Boxcar Racer album is amazing, I think. And
Yeah,
I
it's pretty. I'm,
really, really
I don't.
wish.
I'm not into it as into it as you are, but yeah, I like it. It's good.
No, no well, so I think a part of it is it's not necessarily the music itself, but the idea that I really, really like. Like it's
Oh,
like an acoustic-ish
yeah.
punk
Mm-hmm.
kind of separation album that I really, really like, and I really, really wanted to see them do more with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the album from start to finish or anything like that, but I think there's amazing tracks on there, and I really, really like that concept. It's kind of like if you take, you remember Days of the New?
Yeah.
Right? Like most of their songs are garbage, but the
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
of basically but the idea of basically like an acoustic Alice in Chains had a real cool appeal to it, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing for me
Absolutely.
with Boxcar Racer. Like I was never super into Blink 182, and like I said, I'd only listened to really that song and a couple songs on MJV or whatever, and then I heard that, and then I was like, oh man, this has a great potential. An acoustic rad punk band coming through could be an amazing thing, and there's some great songs on there. And then so when that was never picked up again, and then we got this, I was like, that's cool. We got this other thing, because at the time it wasn't like Boxcar Racer was completely finished,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought, this is kind of cool too. There's a lot of cool experimentation going on, and like there's a lot of cool songs on this album, and I was surprised that you really liked it that much. But yeah, definitely, there's some songs on here I like very much. But what happened after this, and I hope you listened to other albums from them.
I did.
For example, I think the next one is Love. Is that
Love?
right?
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Which is uh, a garbage
I
pile.
I would say utter trash. Completely. Don't even waste your time listening.
It's
Holy shit, it's awful.
it's so disheartening to realize that they went from Boxcar Racer, which had such great potential, to this, which was good. It was a good album
Hmm.
and had a lot of cool points to it. And then they produced this next
Love is
garbage
horrible. It's a
pile.
horrible album. It's
It
so
is
bad.
terrible. It is
It's
so sad.
so up its own ass. It's like
Yep.
I don't like to use the word pretentious, but God, it's maybe fitting here. Like, oh man, it's a just yeah, it's not good.
It's so disappointing.
Uh huh.
But like you said, this album is actually good. I really like this.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you liked it. Just yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I
I
think
mean,
there's
this
good
may
stuff
say
here.
something about me, but one of the things I really liked about it is that the entire album is really positive, except for the
Yes.
last song. But like
Yeah.
basically throughout, it's an incredibly positive album, which is something I don't usually listen to.
Yep.
Most of the music I listen to is pretty negative, depressing, sad. Like it's not really uplifting. I don't listen to a lot of uplifting music. I'm
Yeah.
aware of that.
One of my favorite songs is the second song on the album is called "Everything's Magic," and
Yeah,
it's like
that's a good ass song.
you put that song on and you're like, yeah, fucking sweet.
Yeah,
I gotta mail
like
some letters today. I'm going to the post office.
yeah,
Whatever it is.
I feel like it really stands out how positive this entire album. Like I said, except for I forget the last song. I don't know why. I wrote it in my notes. Except for the last song, I forget what it is, but something about the last
It
song is
hurts.
not positive. Oh yeah. But even that song is still kind of, yeah. It's yeah. That's kind of what I liked about it. But
Sure.
in my notes, I wrote this thing down that it says, not directly connected to this album specifically, but I kind of noticed this throughout so far.
Mhm.
So I've been listening to the albums every day, at least once. And I started noticing that, like, the familiarity can make you think you like it more than maybe you actually do.
Sure.
Like listening to the same songs over and over every day, like you start to like, oh yeah, this is the good one. Yeah, finally we got to the good song. like it kind of like it really defines like this is the good stuff. This is the like it makes the good stuff good and the bad stuff bad. Like it.
It's like being in an abusive relationship.
Sure, yeah, sure, a little bit, yeah. But yeah, it kind of makes sense why there was the whole like payola, like let's just get this out. If we put this out here often enough, people will like it no matter what because they'll hear it enough.
Yeah.
They'll tell themselves they like it. Like I start like with this album, I was like, I don't think it's specifically this one. It's like the accumulation of listening to these albums over and over. I'm starting to notice a trend here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do honestly like the album.
So my
And
favorite song
mm,
is it's a tough one. There's two songs I really like.
oh man, there's two for me. I deleted the other one. I don't know what the other one was anymore. But I'll say my favorite, according to my list, is Secret Crowds.
That's the other one. All right, so I'll say my favorite's
I don't know what
Magic.
I had another one and it was replaced by this one. I remember.
It's those are the two best songs. Secret Crowds and Everything's Magic. I think those are the two best.
Hmm.
There are other great songs on this album. What is it?
I like how Secret Crowds is like it's such like a big song. Like it's not like
Yes.
the other songs aren't as like big and grandiose as that one is. Like it's
Mhm.
It's so different than the rest of the album is why like it stands out. Like it's why I liked it. Like it's good.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of them are really good. But that's good. So check that album out. Don't listen to anything else they've produced.
No, this I think there's another. Wasn't there another? Like, well, maybe it was like multiple versions of
There's a
Love.
bunch of stuff. So he went on this like aliens movie love story thing that just don't even worry about it.
Yeah, keep talking while I set up the next one.
All right, so the next album we're going to my girl, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yep.
And the album Emotion.
Yeah, I didn't. I was thinking about doing the emotion thing here, but I decided not to.
It is listed as Emotion.
Yep. Yeah, Kylie Rae Jepsen, Emotion. Next up.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Carlisle.
I think you said something different.
Didn't I say Carly?
You did now. I think you said Kylie.
Maybe. I don't know.
Agree to disagree.
Sure.
This is Carly Rae Jepsen Emotion.
I'm going to say this right off the bat. This is from my Thursday notes. Day 4 of listening to this album.
Was this from me? Because I did put this on my list, I think.
Yes, this one is also... Yeah, this one is from you.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize she was the Call Me Maybe lady.
Oh, snap.
That was from the 4th day of listening to this album. I was like, oh, hey. Didn't realize that. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really know much about her.
Really?
I know Griffin McElroy, loved her because I listened to Bim Bam.
Uh-huh.
What did he call himself? Bliss Delight? Whatever. After he came back from her concert, like, yeah, he's quite a fan apparently. Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's an entirely positive album, but it's extremely poppy. This is a pop ass album.
It's so
probably
poppy.
The most pop album of anything we've heard so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It had been a while for me since I listened to an album this poppy.
Yeah. So when that song came out, "Call Me Baby," I really liked it.
Yeah, it's catchy.
I didn't listen. I did not listen to anything else by her at the time, but I really liked that song, and I liked the video. I thought the video was funny.
I don't know if I've seen the video, but okay.
Yeah. So the video is she's like trying to impress like a neighbor boy that's out in the yard washing his car or whatever. And then like she invites him to come over, and she's performing in her garage with her band, and like she's like, "Call me maybe." She's like, she slips him her number, right? And but he ends up being gay and wants to fucking hook up with the guitarist, who's a dude.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So it's kind of funny,
Sure.
and she's just like, "What?" You know. Anyway. So I always thought that was a kind of funny video. The song was really cool, and MJ is a big fan of the song, "Call Me Baby," and so I've heard that song quite a bit. And I heard exactly just Griffin talking about this album, and then so that's the only reason I put it on there. I'd never listened to that first album, and I hadn't listened to this one really either. But I was like, there's a good chance to maybe have it come up. Yeah, it's poppy as hell. This is, for me, this is the second album that I might actually listen to again, start to finish sometime. But it wasn't like super poignant in any manner. It wasn't super impactful, and I don't know that you have a "Call Me Maybe" on this album. There's some. There's one song that's. There's one song I think that's a big single, but I don't remember what it is. I Really Like You, I think is what it is. But I actually don't really like that song.
That's the only song I had actually heard. Like when it came on, I was like, "Oh, I've heard this before."
Mm.
But yeah, I remember thinking that that's a really stupid song. Like
It's like
I
a
didn't
super
like it.
generic pop song.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I
Yeah.
need I need to take a bio break
Uh-huh.
if we can.
Sure.
You got that in the plan?
Go. I can
Well,
talk.
let's wrap up this CD, and while you're changing, I'll go.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I was not really a fan of this. I thought it was okay. I felt like the I felt like it was trying to do like the '80s thing, but
Yeah, yeah.
instead of like where like a band like Chromeo is like super
Ah,
focused on like this is the thing we're doing like late '70s '80s like thing. This album was more of like, hey, remember the '80s? This one sounds like Madonna. Remember her? This one sounds like Belinda Carlisle. Remember her? Like, I just
which we are both big Chromeo fans.
yes, I really like Chromeo. Or like yeah, it's just
They're
like
amazing.
every not every song, but like I felt like this is the song that references Blondie. This is the one that references Madonna. Like there's multiple songs that sound like Madonna to me on this. Like Madonna seems to be a
Sure.
huge influence. Well, of course, because yeah, she was a huge pop.
And before this album came, Taylor Swift's 1989, I think
Oh
is the
yeah,
name.
I don't know when this came out either.
So yeah, that totally. But I think it was before this. So that totally. Yeah, she's like, oh, Taylor Swift did it. I'm gonna do some 80s shit too. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, nothing really struck me. The only my favorite track on this one was I wrote down two. I'm gonna say "Gimme Love" because I
Mhm.
like I like the beat in that one.
That's mine.
I also liked "Your Type,"
Uh,
but yeah, "Gimme Love" was the one I liked probably more. But
that's my song. I would listen to that again.
yeah, I don't know that I'd listen to this album again, but I listened to it a ton. But go. I'm gonna
I'll be
switch
back.
to the next band.
Listen to the Doors.
The next band is called Black Lab. I had never heard of them before doing this. Their album is called Passion. Passion Leaves a Trace. Here's the album cover. Come to think of it, that might be a little risque, but whatever. I don't know anything about this band. So I'll say that this was a band, nope, that way, that he picked. This is from his list, which actually maybe was Carly Rae Jepsen not from. Maybe it was on his list. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about this band at all. But I will say, listening to an album every day of the week is not very fun. Like if it was like a band I really, really like, maybe it'd be okay. But I'd say besides Kanye and Sonic Youth, every other week has felt like a chore.
Uh huh.
I was saying, yeah. Besides Sonic Youth and Kanye, and I guess actually Angels and Airwaves, every week has kind of felt like a chore listening to the album every day.
This sounds terrible. Listening every day.
Well, I don't know anything about this band, Black Lab, so I can't vamp or talk about them because I don't look anything up about them. And
I have very strong like locational connections to each of the albums we've listened to so far.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say I said this was a band that this is from your list. I had never heard of them before.
No. I mean, when I've listened to them, I like if you say, "Oh, where were you when you listened to Sonic Youth?" I have a very strong like location connection.
Yeah.
But also, I listened to each of these albums pretty much once. Not like you, so you wouldn't have the same. So yeah, Black Lab. Okay, this is one on my list.
Yep.
And
this was from your list.
So this is a band. Their first album was called shit. It's called something.
I bet it was not.
I think it's called Your Body Above Me. Your Body Above Me is the album, and like they had one big song that was kind of a big single called "Wash It Away," and it featured an EBO, which had been made famous by REM in some song or something like that. Anyway, so it was kind of that zeitgeist that they became even popular to begin with. And I listened to that first album and I liked it. But this album, I'd totally forgotten about the band, but there were two instances that this song, and can you guess what is the song off of this album that became famous, popular?
Hold on. I gotta look at the track list then, because I don't.
So this album is about Black Lab, Passion Leaves a Trace, and I think this is their second album. I think.
Yeah, I don't.
First album, Your Body Above Me.
I think so. Black Lab. Oh man, why didn't we listen to Black Label Society? That'd be so much cooler.
Well, you didn't pick it, you dickhead.
Because I've listened to all of their albums already, so they don't count. Nope, that's the wrong Black Lab, apparently.
So I'm guessing you didn't like this very much.
Nope.
Which I'm going to say I didn't really like this very much either. And I had not listened to this album before we did this thing. I only really knew this song. Like I said, the first album I actually liked a bit, but not even that much.
Why can't I find what is happening out there?
It's not on Spotify, I don't think.
Was it not? Oh, that's right. This was one of the ones. Yeah, you had to give it to me. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's right. All right, hold on. I can look.
I had to send you the CD.
Yep. That's right.
But if you look at the Wikipedia page, you can see the track list. Anyway, don't worry about it. So the song...
I would guess probably... Well, if I had to guess, maybe the first song. The first song is pretty catchy. Mine Again.
Nope. Are you ready?
Yep.
More guess? No. So the song is called
The
This
Real
Night.
You. That's my other guess. What?
This Night.
Oh, okay.
All right. And so there's two places I encountered this song, and one was it was used in an episode of House, which I was a huge House fan. I loved House.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Speaking of, it showed up
a show that you've told me to watch multiple times, I still have never watched.
I loved that show so much, and like this show, I was watching an episode, and this song came on, and like I was like, man, that sounds like the Black Lab dude. That's crazy. And then I looked it up, and it was actually from them or whatever, right? But also, speaking of podcasts, which we talked about at the beginning, there was a time where like audio podcast books were a thing, right? With like J.C. Hutchins. You remember J.C. Hutchins? He did the Seventh Son trilogy, or Seventh Son. Did you listen to that? Or there was that horror guy, Scott something. You don't remember?
I do remember a horror thing.
Maybe it was not Scott. I don't remember. But there was a guy.
The one that I very much remember was what was it called? Number one with a bullet? Was that?
Oh, yes. So that author's name was Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov or something like that.
Years and years ago.
Yeah. So the author of that, I think, was this guy, Mark Yoshimoto
I don't
something.
know. That's the first podcast I ever listened to because of you.
Yes.
Because I listened to it at your place, and I was like, "Fuck, this is cool. I'll listen to this."
Right. So I think. So it was that one, Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, and it was a story about like a bunch of assassins trying to kill an assassin, right?
Yep.
So that story was written by a guy named Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, and he
name sounds familiar.
He also wrote a Western version. It became basically it was an audio book, but it was done up like an old radio play. So voice actors and stuff like that. And he wrote one called oh shit, what's it called?
This is the one I didn't listen to. It was after.
Yes, it was called Shadow Falls.
Yes, yeah. Right? I didn't listen to it. I listened to like the first episode and I was like, I don't like this. So I stopped.
Right. But the theme song for Shadow Falls was This Night by Black Flab.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Huh. So that's where this song came from. That's why I even suggested it to begin with. Is it came from that, and I heard it, I think, later on House, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, this sounds like Black Lab, and it came about, and that's why I even suggested it at all. But this album's not good. Don't listen to it.
No, it's. I mean, it's not
also
bad.
Also,
it's
Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, I think, has some sort of bad accusations against him or something like that. So we'll go ahead and distance ourselves from him.
I don't know. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was just
bland.
Yeah, like super. Yeah, like just unremarkable. Yeah. Just bland. Like it reminded me of like 1,000 different bands.
Yep.
This sounds like this. This sounds like this.
If you can listen to, there's a bunch of their their albums are on YouTube, and maybe their first one is as well. It's called Your Body Above Me. If you listen to that one, I think that one's actually a decent album. But yeah, this album's pretty boring.
Mm-hmm. It reminded me at times, like I wrote down a bunch. Well, not a bunch. I wrote down a few. It reminded me at times of Our Lady Peace.
Which
Radio.
I am a huge. I like Our Lady Peace a lot. I'm on the periphery. I know, but I've been a fan.
You introduced me to Our Lady Peace. You introduced me to them, and I also like them, but I specifically like them because of how irritating that guy's voice is.
Yes.
I think it adds to the music.
Absolutely. 110%.
Like his irritating voice is what makes that band to me.
Absolutely.
So this guy sounds a little bit like Our Lady Peace at times, and it's not irritating enough. I don't know.
Yeah,
like but yeah, Radio. There's one song that very much sounds like Radiohead. And Audio Slave was the other one that it kind of reminded me of at times.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't take a lot of notes. I wasn't really into this band at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's pretty boring.
I liked the band. The track I liked was called "Good" because I wrote specific. I like the crunchy bass on this song, which I can't even remember what it sounds like. But
a better song called "Good" is by Better Than Ezra.
Sure.
That song is good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, not a fan of Black Lab.
Yeah, me neither. Like I said, if you ever come across it, listen to the first album, Your Body Above Me. It's not bad. But yeah, instead you should listen to almost anything by Our Lady Peace,
Yeah.
or or almost anything by Radiohead,
Yep.
and you'll be better off. Hey, listen to fucking Shadow
Absolutely.
Falls by Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov.
Yeah.
Watch
All
an
right.
episode of House. Do all of that instead of listening to this.
Last up.
Oh, you didn't pick a favorite song, did you?
Good. Good.
Okay, good. All right.
Good was
This
the name
this
of the
night
band.
is mine just because of,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
reasons.
Romanza.
Fucking hell. You
Oh,
spelled Andrea Bocelli incorrectly.
oh, did I?
It's yeah. There's definitely an in.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Here, look at this. Bam.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah. Andrea Bocelli. This one was suggested by my dad.
Yeah.
When I asked my dad to suggest albums on Skype, I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to listen to new music. Can you suggest some albums maybe I haven't heard before?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just whatever. It doesn't matter. No soundtracks. I don't want to listen to soundtracks. I don't want to listen to like best of stuff. Just
Right. Album.
albums." So my dad comes back with a stack of CDs that I have very clearly heard before because they're all of his CDs from our house.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of them, a collection, by the way. I didn't know that at the time when I said like, oh, sure, whatever. Yeah, this is a collection.
Oh wait, this is a collection?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I did not know that either.
Yeah, this is a collection of his first 2 or 3 albums. I didn't know that until after listening to it.
Huh.
But yeah, so he came with me with a bunch of stack of CDs. I was like, Dad, we've listened to that together multiple times. No, that one doesn't count. No, like that's a soundtrack. No, it's The Commitment's a great soundtrack. No, it doesn't count. Sure. But so this was from my dad. He didn't really get what I was trying to go with, but I accepted it.
Apparently.
Because I was like, all right, Andrea Bocelli, I think he's an opera singer. I don't really know shit about opera. Sure. I don't think I've actually ever really heard besides that one song, the first song.
The Marriage of Figaro. Oh.
No. The first song on this album. That was the one I was like, I know that song. I've heard that one before.
I don't remember. Oh, but yeah. I
it's
think
it's the one it's at the end of the album again. That's a good sign that you have the same song like 3 times on one album.
Yeah, you did something right.
It's the one with it's a duet with Sarah Brightman. Sarah Bright something.
Nailed it.
That's the song I knew. But yeah, so this album is. I was so looking forward to like a break from pop music because this has been by far the most pop music I've ever listened to in like one concentrated time. Probably since I was like elementary school when I only listened to pop music.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe junior high. It's been a lot of pop music. So I was looking forward to a break from that and just being opera. And this is probably the most pop. Beyond Carly Rae Jepsen. Like this album is so awful. Pop just shit out of fucking pop album. It's so bad. I hated this. I didn't listen to it on Saturday or Sunday at all. I was like, I cannot. Nope, I'm done. I'm gonna take a 2-day break. Friday, I only listened to Luciano Pavarotti because I was like, all right, I know he is an opera singer. I'm going to listen to him because I know that's opera.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that either. So I was like, you know what? I'm giving myself a 2-day break. I'm fucking done with this. I hated this. It was awful.
Oh, God.
You know what I really hate? Duets. You know what this album has fucking like 5 of? Horrible, shitty duets.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. This album is so bad.
So it begs the question, because I worked at a bookstore / music / DVD music video store at the time that this came out, and it was flying off the shelves. Flying off the shelves. Everybody that walked through the door was like, oh, where's the Atkins diet book? And where's fucking Andrea Bocelli Romanza? Every single person that came through the door.
Yes.
So,
did my dad come through because he clearly came through that door.
He very well could have. So why did that happen? Why did this CD fly off the shelves?
It's awful. It's so bad.
I'll tell you the answer. I will tell you the answer after this stream.
You know what I really don't like about duets is when specifically like a male and female duet, when they're both saying different words and different things, like, oh, that sounds so exciting. Oh, fuck. I hate duets.
So how do you feel about the greatest duet of all time, A Whole New World from the Aladdin soundtrack?
It's awful. Yeah, I hate duets.
Oh my God. That is the best.
No.
You're crazy.
No, duets are awful. Especially when they're both saying different words and singing about different things at the same time. I don't even care about lyrics. It drives me fucking crazy. No, I hate duets.
Fantastic point of view. She's not even looking this way.
Yeah, because she knows duets.
Amazing. What about when Nat King Cole sang with his daughter, Natalie King Cole?
No, because they didn't sing together because he was dead.
He was long dead.
Yeah. Remember when, what was that fucking singer that did a whole entire album of duets? Oh, God. What was his name?
Nat King Cole.
He's done it more than once. He did it
Pharrell Williams.
fairly recently. No, he did it in like the 90s, and then he did it again a few years ago.
Rod Stewart.
No.
Van Morrison.
Rat Pack guy.
Johnny Bravo.
Yep.
Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra, yes. Sinatra. Sinatra has done multiple duet albums.
Okay, stop for just a second, because he did not do shit. He sang years ago and then died, and other people sang with him.
Mm-hmm.
He did not approve of that.
I guess that's true, but yeah. Ugh.
Anyway,
I hate duets.
I disagree with the duets only because A Whole New World from the Aladdin soundtrack is one of the best songs of all time. However, this album was utter garbage. The only song I enjoyed from this album was the second song called Vivere, in which I learned how bad this album was going to be when I had a fake Bruce Springsteen a la Frank Stallone impersonation by Andrea Bocelli versus the lady that sings Barracuda, which I couldn't remember her name.
One of the Hearts?
Yeah, it was Anne Hart.
Not Hearts. No. Anne or Nancy Wilson.
Yes, there you go.
But from Heart, but
it was basically back and forth. When I heard that, because like the first song, I put this on and I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting.
Wait. The first song? The first song is what I expected.
No. This is me. I went into this thinking this was traditional Italian opera, which I like.
Uh-huh.
I like opera. I think opera is wonderful, and I went into the first one and I was like, this is not what I was expecting. I thought this was going to be much more traditional, like a Luciano Pavarotti or something.
Yep.
And it was much more modern. And
Uh-huh.
then we hit the second song, which was the first duet. And it was, like I said, it was fucking Nancy Wilson versus Bruce Springsteen in Alla Italiano. And I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. And it only continued from there. And it was awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this album
Just,
is horrible. It's
just
so
terrible.
bad. It is bad. Yeah, I don't. I picked a favorite song, but my favorite song is completely ironic. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
actually like it
My
at
song
all.
is that second song because it was so bad, but it let me know exactly what I was in for. That is my favorite song of the album.
Oh, no, no, no. My favorite song was the one with the weird guitar solo that just gets cut off way short and then has like the Winds of Change outro whistle at the end. God,
Great song.
and it sounds like Sting wrote the that song.
So can I
Oh
tell you
God, it's so
why
bad.
this album and I wondered for a bit why this album was so popular, and I know the answer.
I have no idea. It's so bad. I don't understand why it's so
The
popular.
answer is he is an Italian, incomprehensible Michael Bolton.
Yeah, I have Michael Bolton written down in my notes. Like,
That is the answer. Michael Bolton was this time. Andrea Bocelli comes through. He's blind. He's Italian. I can't understand what he's saying. He's a great singer. He's perfect. He's Michael Bolton without the fucking mullet.
yeah, I guess sure.
That
It's
has to be why he was so popular.
it's
It's
bad. It's
why this
not.
album was so popular.
Don't listen to it. I listened to there was some other like the top song in his like most popular was oh fuck now I don't remember. He sang like a very recent song with someone else, and
Was it
he can't sing as well as he did in whenever this came out 90s.
was it was it that song from Frozen? Cold never
No,
but
no, no, no.
wait.
It's far. It's yeah. It's a fairly recent song. I forget who it is, but he does a song
By
with someone.
Inya.
No, not any. But yeah, it's not good. But yeah, the song I can't even pronounce it. It's Le Tu Parole, whatever.
Ed
That's the one.
Sheeran.
Yes, Ed Sheeran. That's the song. I listened to that one. He can't. Well, Ed Sheeran's actually he's got a good voice, but yeah, Andrea Bocelli cannot sing like he used to.
Andrea.
Oh, sorry, Andrea.
Ed Sheeran can't sing, but he ugly as fuck.
All right,
And
let's
that's
wrap
it.
this
We're
up.
done. We finished
Well, hold on.
January.
We got one more thing to do.
January, February. Done.
Done.
That's all of the albums we've listened to.
Here comes March. If you want to sing
Dun, dun,
along,
dun.
if you want to sing along with us, this week I don't know how to pronounce it. Heilung, Heilung,
I'm going to say hi.
Heilung. The album is called Ofnir. I don't know. Did you look into them at all? Their genre is pagan folk.
Perfect.
So, yep. Enjoy that. After that, will be Kesha. So, yeah, what's a Kesha? I'll find out in the second week of March. Rainbow. Week after that will be...
I got off of a Rolling Stone top 50 albums of 2017 list or something like that. It's the only reason I put that on there.
We'll find out. Next, Unleash the Archers. Apex will be the third week. And last week of March into April, Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 4. So hopefully we'll be back, probably start
Whenever
April-ish, once we listen to all of that. So yeah, from now on, hopefully we'll be doing these once a month, so we don't have to do a giant,
much shorter
stream like this. But yeah,
much shorter.
All right. Did I? Oh yeah, I said favorite song. All right, let's close this out.
All right, go ahead and hit us up with your traditional farewell greeting. You remember the one you always do.
I do. I did. Yeah. Like Grandpa always said, I gotta pee, and we talked way longer than I thought we were going to.
I think we talked about it exactly as long as I thought we would, because it always goes longer than we ever think it will.
Yeah, that's true. Goodbye.
Especially for the first one. No, you can't leave yet. You can't go to the bathroom.
What? Why not? Oh, yeah, the first one? Yeah. I forgot that we would talk at the beginning, explain what the hell this is all about.
And by the way, look at that logo. BOTRBAMG.
Yeah.
Be back.
Should we ever explain what that means, or just leave it?
BOTRBAMG. This is the show.
All right, BOTRBAMG.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. If we get 1 million subscribers, we'll do it.
1 million? 1 million subscribers?
1 million subscribers.
All right. Yeah, we can explain.
BOTRBAMG.
Well, wait. How about we do? There's 8 letters. 800,000. We'll reveal 1 letter per 100,000 subscribers.
All right.
Not in order. Not in order. Just.
We're gonna pick a random. Letter.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy! I can't wait till we get to R.
So yeah, if we get 100,000 subscribers, we'll reveal 1 of these. Well, I guess if we do B, do we have to reveal both Bs? There are 2 Bs.
No, because they're different Bs.
All right. Oh God, there's a clue.
There you go. Yeah. Get out your search engines.
Good luck. All right. See you next month.
Later.
Bye.